What is going on, guys? It is your boy Rapider Crypt Keeper here, and I just wanted to talk about Saw 1, Saw 2, Saw 3, and Saw X, and rank them all and see how X falls in with the first three movies. So, getting off with Saw, I have it in S tier already. So, the reason I have Saw in S tier is because it was shot in literally pretty much a little room, low budget horror film, and they made the best of what they had. I mean, I seen this movie when I was a child, like Billy the Puppet put nightmares in my head. Not even the dude laid out on the floor dead had me all, messed up. It was literally Billy the Puppet, just the way they introduced him, the color schemes that they used, like the dark light green that they used, like the cuts, the old TVs. I mean, everything was just so original that they used, and it was really a big plot point for horror history when Saw came out. Um, but starting off with like the premise, you have Adam and Dr. Gordon. Dr. Gordon is chained up to the other side next to the door, and then Adam's chained across the room, and he wakes up in this bathtub. Well, Amanda just threw the key in because, or I guess it was around his toe or something, but he unplugs it with his toe or something like that, and then the key falls off of his chest and goes down the drain. And even that aspect of the movie, when you've seen this movie so many times, you just think about, well, what could have happened, because as you see later in the movie that when they if they could have escaped and gotten out of there was tripwires outside, there was all these different things going on, so maybe the games that Detective Tapp and I can't remember the other dude's name, Dr. or not Detective Chan or something like that, the all the games that they ran into upstairs, I think is the game that they were supposed to run into downstairs. Or when they would get upstairs. So that's just another point to think of about this movie, about the possibilities and everything, and having your own imagination and all that really falls into this. But I mean, like I said, as they came in with the color schemes, the green, the way that they made Jigsaw and the cuts on the screen and all the like real I don't know how you'd say it, like the epileptic like flashes and stuff they did, and like the run around the room in this like fast action. It was honestly a very 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 good movie. They had some really cool traps, like they had the reverse bear trap in, and when Saw started, it was about the fate is in your hands, and later on down the movies, it turns into like, well, you can't even escape this. It's not even possible. But just the way the whole movie unfolds, it's very good. I think that the very ending of the movie, when Dr. Gordon goes to cut his leg off, spoiler alert, I know, but when Dr. Gordon cuts his leg off and everything's unfolding, Kramer's getting up, Zepp comes in and he says game over. Adam's locked in away, and Dr. Gordon done try to scooch his way out, and I guess they show that in 3D that Dr. Gordon came and did all these things, and there's just so many different things that this first movie plays into with these first three that I always keep jumping back and forth between conspiracies, especially with the Adam theory, the Amanda theory. Also, there's just Saw One is just an amazing movie. It's a very very good low budget horror film, and if you have not seen it, you've got to watch it. Okay, so let's get into Saw 2. So pretty much Saw 2 is uh I'll rate X as the end since it is the new movie that just came out. So, but when 2 came out, 2 was phenomenal. They had this house they were all trapped in, and it's so weird because of the outline of um what is it called, the Gideon meat plant, or it's called something like that, the Gideon meat plant. Um, but they had this whole house upstairs that was all trapped and rigged, and they had, I'm not for sure how many people was in there, but you had this detective's kid. Um, I can't even remember his name right now. Um, what's his name? Oh, I had to go back and refresh myself on 6 and 7. It's been so long. All right, Saw 2 cast. This movie throws me off. Yeah, Detective Matthews. Yeah. So, uh, you have Eric Matthews, which is the detective, and then you have his son that's playing this game, which is his son Daniel, and then you have Amanda, this woman, Xavier. You have all these people that's playing this game inside of this house, and there's like this antidote they gotta find. And I mean, the way things start off, it's all crazy because they're all pretty much locked in there, and the whole root of like the issue is Detective Matthews, and they don't know that the kid it is his kid. So everybody that's in there were locked up in jail or prison or some bad stuff because of Detective Matthews. Um, this movie is hands down probably the best Saw movie. I mean, I hold Saw 1 very near and dear to my heart, but Saw 2, with its whole plot and everything that unfolds, it is so good. I mean, they start off, the dude looks through the glass hole when they're trying to escape, puts his key in, turns it, boom, shoots his head off, and that's just, it just, once that happens, everything starts unfolding. And then, you have, Opie, where he's got to reach into this gas chamber and pull out the antidote, and then it closes the door behind them and it flames them. Uh, you have also the needle pit trap, which is a very iconic trap. The needle pit trap is awesome. Xavier pretty much is the one who's supposed to be in there, but he throws Amanda down in there, and she's digging and running through all these needles. And there was this door they were supposed to get behind to get, I guess, an antidote or somewhere else, and she she got the key out and it was like last second and he couldn't unlock the door and he was like blaming her and everything, but it was for him. The trap was for him. And they also, I can't remember the girl's name, but they had another girl there where she was trying to find the antidote, and she sticks her arms up in these like razor blade cages and is trying to get the antidote, and she's stuck because you could go up with them, but you can't come down, and you slice your wrist off. And then you got this, crazy dude running around trying to cut, the back of people's necks off to get the to get the codes. And yeah, I mean, it's a very good movie. I mean, you even have where the black dude and the Xavier dude, they're in this fight, and then the Xavier hits the dude with a baseball bat, the spike bat, and it's stuck in the back of his head, and he cuts his number off, and then it all unfolds in the last like couple minutes of the movie is like they end up in the basement of, well, not really the basement, but I guess the basement, but it's the bathroom of the first movie, and that's when I watched that, it just brought me completely back. Because when you look at the movies, like Saw 1 and Saw 3, so like this is crazy. So like Saw 1 and Saw 3, his Adam's ankle is chained in the left, and then in the second in 3D it's chained to the right. So this it's a little weird there with Detective Tap and all that. Dr. Gordon could have switched them out, a whole bunch of things, but um even to the point where they're all trying to get this antidote, they're all dying. They end up in this bathroom where they're cutting their necks off and doing all these things. I mean, it's insane. And then it all unfolds that his son was literally in the safe and then falls out of the safe. And I can't even remember if his son was okay or not or anything, but all I know is like the closing minutes of the movie ends with Detective Matthews in the bathroom, chained next to where Adam was, and trying to kill Amanda. So Saw 2, it is going right next to Saw in my tier list. Okay, so I would have Saw and then Saw 2, but honestly, depending on the day, I could switch these around. So, but as of now, I'm gonna keep Saw as number one. Now, Saw 3, honestly, Saw 3, this is Saw 3, my bad. Saw 2, sorry. Now, Saw 3 is amazing. This is honestly where I could switch out between any of these movies. I mean, it's phenomenal. They really are. Like all three of these movies that were made, they were all phenomenal. I mean, I got these on VH or little DVD disc. They were like these little clear white cases, and you got it, and it just had the blade on it with Saw. But Saw 3, it continues from 2, and you see Eric Matthews is locked in this place, and he beats his leg off with this rock to crawl out. Then he tries to fight Amanda. Then all that stuff starts to unfold. But pretty much the whole premise of this movie, the third movie, is coming off of, John Kramer needs brain surgery, so they go and kidnap this nurse or a surgeon, whatever she is, to come do surgery on him. And her husband has to play these trial of games because of he lost his kid, and he's like going through a psychotic break, all these things, and he's giving him a chance to kill the killer in there, but he's playing these set of games with his wife or ex, I can't remember, it might be his wife. But they're both playing, or his name's Jeff. Yeah, Jeff's playing these set of games, and his wife's in there. They put this, I can't remember what the name of the trap is, but it's like this. I think it's called the gunshot trap. Um, I'm trying to think. The shotgun collar. Yes, yes. Yeah, the freezer room, the pig vat, the rack, Jeff's final test, and Amanda's test. Yes. So the classroom trap, that shit was fucked. He wasn't surviving that. That was an unescapable trap. Um, that was a terrible trap. It was terrible, terrible, terrible. Um, but yeah, like I said, wherever I was at, they put the shotgun collar on her, and she has to perform brain surgery on him and not kill him. And if he does flatline, then her shotgun collar will blow up, or if she walks in too far of a distance, it'll blow up. And in this movie, you get to see how Amanda was an addict. Really, I mean, it shows in the first one, the second, but this one it really goes back and how she self harms and is going through all these things, and now she's going through all these challenges and tests to be Jigsaw's apprentice. There's so many different things going on, and as a father, I really go back with like the Saw 3 harp, and I really think about it because like losing his child, and now he don't even know where his child is, and then they say his child and then they say that his child's in this 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 bear pit or this like closed case with all these animals in it that he's burning, or it's something like that, and I really should rewatch Saw 3 to get more of a remembrance of it, but I remember the movie just little points like that. I mean, this movie will make you get grotesque as fuck. I mean, they have some very, very good traps in here. Like, they have this pig vat trap where the judge just sentenced Jeff's son's killer that hit him when he was playing on a tricycle and he took off or whatever. Um, the judge is in there, and Jeff decides to save his life, but it's like all these pig guts and pig heads and all this shit just dumping on him, and it's, oh, you could just imagine the smell of that. All these dead pig carcasses. Um, Also, they have later on. I mean, the ice room traps very iconic. They even have that in Dead by Daylight. But they have the ice room trap where when he first comes in. There's so many different things. I know I'm all over the point, but I'm trying to remember all the traps in chronological order. But yeah, but Saw 3, I mean, it's a very, very good movie. I mean, it holds up with the first three. Depending on a day, I can switch it out, but the first two are just. They just hold near and dear to my heart so much. And I mean, even the third one, I mean, I even go back on this one. But, pretty much this movie ends with Jeff getting in there. He shoots Kramer, kills him, or kills Amanda, or whatever. And then next thing you know, boom, the shotgun collar comes off, and then he's trapped in there. And that's it. That's it. It just leads to the next movie. But yeah, Saw 3, I'm going to put it next to 2 on here because as we're just ranking these, it's only really going to be in this category. Um, really these two. So let's getting on to Saw X. I don't even know which one is Saw X. I'm gonna hope this one is, and I'm gonna put this one in probably A tier, right below Saw 3. It was a very good movie. They had some very good traps. I really do like the whole premise, how they go back on John Kramer's story, right after the first one, and all these different things. I'm just glad his wife wasn't in this one, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, he pretty much gets duped out of $250,000, and he wants to get this surgery because he's dying of this cancer. This guy named Henry shows up and tells him, "Oh, they saved my life," blah blah blah. So he does all this research, finds him, goes out there, and then they do this quote unquote surgery on him, and then he takes off his head thing and finds out that they didn't do anything on him, and they just kind of left, like took his money. So from the taxi driver to all of them, he gets them all collected up and then sets up all these traps. It's very, very good with the trap placement that they do in this movie. I mean, oh, look, I said is that, and then look, sorry. Yeah. So Saw X. I mean, they got this bone marrow trap where this girl's got to take like this jiggly saw and cut her leg off, and then she's got this thing around her neck that if she don't do it in an amount of time, it'll chop her neck off, and she's got to cut her leg off and suck out the bone marrow. And as she's almost there, and she takes too long, boom, gets her head cut off. Very good trap, one of my favorite traps in this whole franchise. Like the same with three that I didn't really get to talk on, but the rack trap, one of the literally probably the best trap in the whole series. The rack trap is just twists this whole dude's body around. It's crazy. But I mean, I guess the plot point that they jumped in, you don't really get more of a story of Adam or Gordon or any of these things in this, and that's what's lacking for me because I need to know these things. I need to know what happened. I need to know why Adam's foot is on two different, why his ankle or his chains were on two different feet. Um, yeah, I mean, that and I mean just folding all out. I mean even the bloodboarding trap because Creamer even joins in to test himself against the trap against this boy, and they both survive. I mean he even sets up Peterson and this guy because he knew they were working together, and as soon as they grab the money they're locked in this room where they got to breathe through this valve and they can't move. um, yeah, I mean there's some pretty good points in this, and then at the end the guy that pretty much was in on the scam too. He sees him after the post credits, so if you I kind of left a little early when the credits came up, but I had to go back and rewatch the kill. But he kills Henry on the scar tissue trap. It was a decent trap, but just this all unfolds into going into the second movie. But there was just a lot of plot points that were missed on, that weren't touched on. It was more about Kramer's feelings and all these different things. But as I'm going, it's gonna be Saw 1, Saw 2, Saw 3, and then Saw X. I would rank those four just like that. Sorry I was a little jumpy everywhere. I need to get, some more notes put on the side and look at things and read better and do better at these type of things. But I'm just kind of giving y'all some raw, footage of me just being normal, just trying to talk about the movies that I love, and hopefully others can share their opinions on it. And I really, really love horror movies. So anybody that has an opinion on this, or let's switch any of these around, let me know your Saw ranking in the comments. Yeah, what's your favorite Saw character? I plan on doing more of these and hopefully I can get better at these. But I just appreciate anybody that does watch them. And yeah, guys, thank you.